Hey everyone, how's it going? We had some major announcements today where the Fed stated that they will likely do a half a point interest rate hike, very possible at the next meeting, and as well as a reduction in the QE, right? So if there is a reduction in the QE, that increases a certain level of uncertainty in the markets, which is not good for equities, right? So looking at the SPY overall, it looks like, we had a rejection at the 462 level. Price did break out of the 457. I always wait for the retest. So it looks like we're having a retest here now around 443. Like I mentioned in my previous videos, there's certain levels that need to be held that if this level was broken, we could go to test the 443 level. Now, because we tested this level here, some major moves are upcoming in the next coming weeks here. We have some selling going on here, but this is a doji or indecision candle. The next few days are important. So some of you may be wondering why I have this marker here or what is this going on here. So this is just marking for me from today, which was the FMOC minutes, until Fed speaks, which is in May. So May, I believe, 2nd is when the meeting is. So this little time frame that I have going on here is important to me. This is where I will be trading less. I will be watching the market, but I will be trading less. And I have warned members of my community already that this may present some highly volatile markets where there's high chances of whiplashes. I will be trading, but I won't be trading actively like I usually am. So looking at this is what we're getting here is we're getting a bounce at 443 level here. What we want to see is what happens in the coming days. So what I'm expecting today is tomorrow to be have some level of uncertainty, right? So at the top we have the 200, and then we have the 100, and then we have the 50 and the 20-day EMAs, right? So even the EMAs here are starting to, smaller ones are starting to curl here. So that's something to keep an eye on, right? So RSI is getting flat and MACD is about to turn over and give us a sell signal here, right? So that's something to keep in mind of, okay? So right now, it's very, very volatile market. Also, April is filled with earnings, so SPY and Triple Q could move aggressively based on how these growth names move. Close ones to be watched will be the FANG stocks. So looking at the S&P 500 on the hourly time frame, this rejection worked out perfectly. Broke down, the retest failed here, and then we have a breakdown here. So now, if this breakdown is real, we want to see a break of 443, possibly a retest, and then a fall to 427. If that does not happen, we should see a rise to about 457 to about 462. But right now, we are consolidating here. So looking at the Qs, the Qs are looking very decent here. I did, if you watched my previous video, I did talk about this, this being a triple top on the smaller time, sorry, double top on the smaller time frame, and this is something to be mindful of, right? So this price was rejected here on a multiple time frames, and we did see a support level break about 362, and now we're consolidating. So what we want to see is price consolidate and push above to the 362 level, right? So if price can push above to the 362 level, we can start to see some price movements which are going to be very nice. That means price just tested this and is respecting this level. But something important to note here, we have multiple fields here. Okay, so we have one, and we have two, and then we have two on the other side. So we have four total areas in this zone alone where price has respected this level very, very well, right? So this is telling us that this supply zone is very crucial. And what I would like to watch is this the demand zone, which is down here now. Okay, so this area in between is just consolidation. So if price is going to break down, it's going to break down to 346, test this level and break down to 344, 334. Okay, so if this level does break down, we're going to see a change of trend happen here, come down to about, and then a takeout of the 317 level. If that does happen, that means the head and shoulder formation that's happening on the daily will be valid for the triple Qs. Even if the Qs bounce to this level, the shoulder can still be valid, about 382. Okay, so you got the shoulder, the head, and we're looking to see what happens here, right? So this is on a smaller time frame, is looking like a double top here and a rejection. So either way, on the triple Qs, it is not looking so strong anymore. So this is a good example of why you should wait for certain levels to be tested before taking any aggressive positions. So we can continue. We can see that this is turning out to be a very bearish play, right? So if we look at the RSIs and the MACD is also turning over here. RSI is testing the 50, and the MACD is turning over. So this could give us a sell signal very soon. So if that does happen, expect the Qs to break down here. So the Qs could have a possible push to the upside here, which could be very minor. Okay, so we can see a push like this, and then like this, and then a breakdown, and then a further break. But for now, we'll see what happens here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Qs went to test that level and did go here and then fail. But if it is going to continue higher, we need the 383 and then the 389 level to be broken to the upside. Okay, so on the Qs, this is what we need. So we'll see how this pans out in the coming weeks. But right now, like I said, even with the Qs until May 2nd, expect high volatility in the market. So Dow Jones here, look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones, like I mentioned before, that this level is a big support zone. If this fails, we're going to go back and test the 330 level, right? So we'll see what happens with Dow. But today, Dow had a decent day. It was green overall. So with that being the case, on the Dow, it's important to note that it's an unchanged sort of green day for Dow. So down only like 0.45%, whereas all the other indexes were down quite a bit. Like SPY was down 1%, triple Qs were down more than 2%. So the triple Qs, as you guys can see, are overly exposed. So with the Dow being down small, it's okay. We can see what happens here. Dow's big level is around 357. We want to see if that level gets broken, right? So with the VIX, like I have been mentioning in all of my previous videos, right? VIX is holding this level here. So as long as VIX holds this level, this inverted head and shoulder, it has a risk to the upside. And that risk could be because the Fed is going to do a 50-point interest rate hike. Okay, so looking at that on the VIX, be careful when you are trading, right? So VIX is also, already turning downwards here, but we'll have to continue to watch what happens overall with the VIX. With the market having a red day and VIX having a red day, could be interesting. We could actually start to see a potential short-term bounce because the VIX also turned red. But even if that does happen, do not chase the move. Just wait and let a few days go by and let the market absorb the information that came out today. Okay, so absorb the economic data. And if we look at Kweb is respecting the supply zone. We got demand right here around 26. If this level holds up, we can push past 34, right to 39 and push higher. But Kweb can consolidate in this zone for quite some time before taking the next step higher. So if we look at ARK rejected this level here again. Amazing rejection. And we got a breakdown of support here. But this is an important area. We want to see ARK stay above this. If this does not stay above this area, we can see a potential collapse in ARK. So if we look at the 2-hour or 1-hour time frame on ARK, we can see that this served as a double top. Okay, and this break of support is a good area to trade. You guys can see how it went and tested and it failed. So we can have a further down move in ARK waiting to happen. Okay, the fact is it went to retest and broke again. So keep an eye on ARK. ARK can fall quite a bit, as well as stocks that went up today or sectors that went up today. VIX, XLU, utilities. Like I mentioned, this is a defensive sector. It's continuing to lead in the market with strength, right? And XLV, healthcare, is starting to bounce here. But healthcare has got this double, triple top or a head and shoulder pattern, whatever you want to call it, going on here. If this closes above this level and tests and pushes higher, this will be invalidated. But for now, because it's testing this, the next few days will tell us the story about XLV. And real estate as well, putting a similar pattern. Big resistance up here. We want to see what it does here. Does the real estate sector take off? The fact that mortgage rates are going up in the US, I'm not too sure if this sector is going to be able to take off. XLP, consumer staples, breaking out beautifully here, consolidated in the zone, and it's just taking out new levels over and over again, right? So this is something to keep in mind of, okay? So when this is happening, you do not want to be taking unnecessary trades. Okay, you want to be sure that you're ready to take the trade, overall in the market, right? So if we look at the XLP and we look at it's ready to go, we want to wait for this break and before we execute the trade. I look at XLE. XLE's consolidation here, consolidating sideways, and it could be getting ready to break. And XLE has been consolidating for quite some time now, between two zones. So because XLE is in this consolidation range, we need a break, right? So it can consolidate for quite some time before it decides to break out. But for now, it's just holding on here. The biggest sector that I am personally worried about is semiconductors. Semiconductors are forming a head and shoulder pattern. However, today was a doji or unchanged day with a green volume. Buyers did come in. So possible to see a reversal in the semiconductors to test the 261 level. So I will wait and see what it does at 261. If it starts bouncing towards 270, the big level to take out here is around 281. Okay, so if that level gets taken out, then I won't be bearish on SMH anymore. So looking at gold now, gold is testing this, right? But if we look at the monthly on gold, gold has got a cup and handle formation going on, but the only problem is on the monthly, it's putting in this is a long wick here on the upside. Okay, so it's putting in this bearish candlestick pattern. Okay, so this is not something you want to see in a bullish trend, right? So this is shooting star on the downside, so this is not looking good for gold right now. But I have my levels on gold that I'm holding, so the range is 178, 159, but my level is 175. If price goes below 175, I'm not interested in gold until price gets above 175. But in the longer time of things, I think gold will eventually, go up, right? So today, the only sector that was strong was gold, actually, and the weakest was airlines, right? This is due to a rise in cases and restrictions and so on and so forth, right? So that's something to be aware of. XLY, this is right here, consumer discretionary. They're not doing so well, so that's something to keep in mind as well, right? So overall, Bitcoin, I've been talking about Bitcoin a lot, as well as now, see, this is exactly why I had a level right here to go long on Bitcoin. It didn't close above it. This is the important part. You gotta wait for the close above Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin unable to close above that, and you want to see Bitcoin, test this level and break out from here. But so far, it's testing the ascending triangle. If it breaks below 440, 640, 55 here, it can break down further to 33, 540, right? That's something to keep in mind of. Ethereum's also turning over. As if you guys are watching my videos, I was expecting Ethereum to come up here and then possibly break down, but it's doing it a lot earlier right here, right? So it's below this level, around 32.26. So because it's below this, I'm not going to test Ethereum here. But however, Ethereum does have an upward trend happening right now. Okay, so something to keep in mind of. Okay. So that's all for the sectors and the market today. Trade safe, okay, guys. Just be careful as you're trading. These markets are going to get very, very volatile, very, very fast. There's going to be a lot of whipsaws, and keep that in mind, okay, guys. So if you guys like what I do, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it.